Good morning, I'm Daniel and here is your latest sports news at 12 on the first day of the Cheltenham Festival. We've got a preview of the big races. We analyse the financial impact of no fans on local businesses. And for the first time in living memory, there will be no Irish invasion at the races. What will this mean to the region? But first, Cheltenham, a town that usually welcomes over 250,000 people to watch the races, will be rather silent today. The first race gets underway at 1:20 in the Supreme Novices Hurdle. The likes of Appreciator and Ballyadam are at the top of the market. It will be followed by the 1:55 Sporting Life Arkle Challenge Trophy Novices Chase, before other featured races, which include the Ultima Handicap Chase, the Championship Hurdle Challenge Trophy and the Close Brothers Mares' Hurdle. I'm joined in the studio now with racing expert Tad Chinnery. Tad, which one of those races that I've already mentioned should we be keeping a close eye on?
Hi Daniel. Yeah, I think the main race of today is the Champion Hurdle, but before that we've got some brilliant action. As you mentioned, we've got the Supreme Novice Hurdle. I think Appreciate It looks like he's been drilled in overnight. He's at 5-4 on now, so get your money on now if you want to get a bet on that. Just the next race after that, we've got the Arkle Chase. Shishkin, the big banker of the week. If that doesn't win, the bookies will be quids in. But then we go to the Champion Hurdle, even the big race of the day. Honeysuckle now 6-5. After winning the Mares Hurdle last year, it's hard to see past Henry de Bromhead's horse. But you've also got Goshen and Nepeton. Don't count them out.
And do you have any outside bets for today's races?
Yeah, I think if you want an outside bet, you're best looking towards the big handicaps of the day. Personally, I'm looking at the Ultima, which is the third race on the card, and a horse called Admiral's Secret. He's had one win already this season. Yeah, he's up in trip today, and I think his weight should make him competitive.
Thank you for joining me today, Tad. We will have commentary of the Champions Hurdle Trophy, which gets underway at 3:05. Tad himself and Jack Dawson will be providing coverage from that race. Unfortunately, this year's Cheltenham Festival is to be conducted behind closed doors due to COVID-19. This comes as a big blow to the Irish community, especially considering that around 60,000 Irish people attend each year. And amateur jockey and equestrian expert Maura Gleeson reckons that this will negatively affect Cheltenham financially.
Massively, because a lot of people would use that as their holiday rather than going abroad, going to Spain. Not everybody goes for the sunshine and the rest and all that kind of stuff. Loads of people go to Cheltenham. They might not even go into the racetrack, but it's for the atmosphere, for the bars, for the betting, all of that. It's going to be such a big chunk.
Those bars and restaurants in Cheltenham that would normally welcome hundreds of customers during race week are closed until May. Owner of Purse Lane, Gareth Fulford, is preparing for another difficult financial quarter.
Well, we're normally full every night, basically. Lunch is not so busy. Locals generally tend to stay out of town during the day, so you're taking 2 weeks worth of revenue in one, basically. So yeah, it's like a very good Christmas week or similar. You know, it's a big hit to the economy to not have it, but you know, I think it's the right thing to do that it's behind closed doors, definitely. So
we know how the lack of crowd at Cheltenham affects businesses, but what does it mean for broadcasters? Our reporter Jack Dawson spoke to ITV's Alice Plunkett to find out.
A fifth festival run, a first festival victory, the champion chasers Palillo. Min picks up well, it's a big jump. Min from St Calvin. Min is hanging on grimly to win the Ryanair.
The impact of having no spectators at Cheltenham is huge. Annual attendees will be without their tradition, bookmakers will be without their bankers, and the horses will have to run without the roar. But what about the broadcasters? Is there more or less pressure, knowing that the racing world is relying on you to provide them with their racing fix? Here are the thoughts of ITV racing presenter Alice Plunkett.
It's really interesting you say that. John Inverdale, the great broadcaster, was on the Zoom call I was on last night, and he asked me exactly that question. He said, are you feeling pressure? Because this is going to be the most watched Cheltenham Festival ever, because people are at home and they're still at home, they've got nothing to do. And yes, I do. Very different, isn't it? I mean, the build-up's been very different. I did a Cheltenham preview night last night with a gang of people, one including Sam Twiston-Davidson. He said, you know, it is weird. Normally we're rushing around the country doing preview nights. We're off every night. We're doing our homework, so early because of those preview nights. Now all the previews are on Zoom. And of course, there won't be the Cheltenham Roar, but the sport is happening, and I'm hugely grateful to the BHA, to the Jockey Club, to Cheltenham for working so hard to make sure that the sport does carry on.
The sport has been in the news for the wrong reasons of late, with trainer Gordon Elliott posing with a dead horse. This begs the question, is enough being done to protect the welfare of the true stars of the show?
There's definitely huge awareness, and I believe that it's something that needs to be continually reviewed, but I'm very proud of the industry that it does review it continually. And I think if you saw the reaction and the shock and the horror to the image that was out there last week from the whole industry, it was clear that that is not something that is acceptable. It's not something that's deemed acceptable, or is even. I've never seen anything like that ever. So I think, of course, there's room for improvement. No one's ever got this taped.
We'll be back with regular updates throughout the first day of racing all afternoon on Park Life Sport.
The 8th overall winner of the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Racing Post journalist James Stevens has one standout tip for today.
Day one, there's a horse running in the Arkle called Shishkin, trained by a guy called Nicky Henderson, who's had a very, very good top 2 mile chaser called Sprinter Sacra, and then Altior. And the feeling is that Shishkin could be the next big superstar of horse racing.
But it's not all about horse racing today. Michael Duff will also be hoping to score a winner. His Cheltenham town side welcome Barrow to Wadden Road this evening with kick-off at 7 p.m. The Robins sit top of League 2 and can extend their lead as nearest rivals Cambridge United and Forest Green Rovers don't play until the weekend. That's all from me. We'll be back at 1:30 with all the latest sports headlines, and we will be bringing you updates from the first race at the festival, which gets underway at 1:20. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at @parklife_sport to keep up to date with all you need to know. Goodbye for now.